Good evening, everyone. Thank you for following the instructions and greeting everyone. Um, Welcome to I believe it's the 16th round of this that we've actually reached now. So evening, Mr. Edwards, evening, Steve, evening, Campbell, Alex, Scott, good to see you, and Dimple as well. Had a request actually from Alex to go super early. He's up against East Coast, so Dimple, if you don't mind, we'll probably fire into this one pretty much straight away. Before we do that, though, let's just have a quick reminder of the results last time out. It's been a while, so worth to just having a look at that. Badgers 2-0 winners against Dudley. East Coast with a draw against Los Santos. Exiles 1-1 with Vikings. Foss Road beat Sancti at home. Fulchester 2-2 with Stanley. Stanley on a bit of a run here. Northern Burn 2-1 at home against Stackington, and Sloss finally lost 3-1 at home to Haggis. Left the table looking a bit like this. East Coast, who have been struggling a little bit in the last 3 or 4 games, still maintain a 7 point lead, which is a testament to how well the start of the season was for them. Evening back. Oh, evening, Tato. Foss Road now up to second place, closely followed by Haggis by Los Santos. There's Northern Burn and there's Exiles Badgers just below the line on goal difference, and Dudley Hill just behind them as well. Um, Evening, Ross. Indeed, rip. Uh, Yeah, you'd love to be struggling in 7 points clear, wouldn't you? On 35 already, probably only 5 points to collect in the next sort of 8, 9, 10, 11 games or whatever we have left. 11 is it? To secure the queue. But yeah, plenty to play for the teams just below the line as well. 17, 16, 14 points. 14, well, starting to struggle there maybe, but I don't think the playoffs are out of reach for I would say at least for the top 10 clubs, then below that maybe Sloss Vikings, Stanley, Stackington. That's going to have to be something special, but not impossible. Not impossible. Even enough. Um, just updating my attendance sheet here. Just a second. That means we can do Sloths and Vikings as well. But as mentioned, we will start off with East Coast against Stackington while Alex is here, so we shall do that first. Um, New look, Stackington, Orientis and then Saki up front, and behind him is Eto, Rivaldo Nakata on the wings, Oyo Tudor, Newman Yakubu on the DMC role, Viali and Novotny, who's been out of favour for a while, comes in, and that's Shivan in goal, Shay Given, indeed. Casillas, Finn, and Andrews and Jardel on the bench. Not selected a captain. Game will decide. And the other tactical tweak that you mentioned, Alex, has been done as well. So all should be good for Stackington. Hence the star. That's the tweak. So I can probably go ahead and save that. Um, Good. And of course, you're up against East Coast. Kuku will get number 50 because why not? Looks like you have a squad space. We'll have to have a quick look at that later on. Don't know if someone left. Um, so that should be all good. Okay, perfect. I'm sure it's fine. East Coast, a minute's applause. Feel free, knock yourself out, Campbell. Absolutely. East Coast looking a bit like this. I forget what the actual changes were for East Coast. There were some, I'm sure, but yeah, as mentioned, they've had I won't say a struggle. It was Turan in I think at the back. Castroman also comes in, and Chadwick on the bench. Yeah, they are done. Good. As mentioned, they've struggled a little bit. No win in the last unusual, given that they had that many wins in the first sort of 11, 12 games. So, yeah, tough times at the East Coast, if you can call it that. We'll see if those fortunes change this evening as they take on Stackington. Good luck to both managers in this one. We haven't done predictions for a while, I guess. I don't know if that's something that's worth introducing again. There were never points for this, really, was there? Or was there a prediction league at some point? Anyway, I'm getting distracted here. It's been mainly East Coast so far, but there is Stackington. Just as I say that, East Coast struggles continues, and Stackington has found an opener, Nakata, who was with a goal there. I think Rivaldo with the assist potentially. See, it would come up to halftime here, and East Coast definitely not finding it easy. They've had 5 shots, 4 of them on target, not converted any of them. Shea Given proving to be one of the best keepers in the league this season, been very, very stable for Stackington after coming in. And indeed, he is on a 9. Novotny's down on a 5, and so is Etu. Etu, not a player that I expected to see getting much time, but he is playing. Maybe something worth considering for the manager. Apart from that, it's been not too bad for Stackington. Fitness wise, everything is looking pretty good. We'll see if Alex wants to do anything. Dimple, meanwhile, I mean, 5 shots, 4 on target, not done anything wrong really, just not scored and unfortunately conceded. There are no fitness issues, so I doubt that Dimple will be doing much, but we'll leave it up um, a brief minute or two for him to obviously decide if now's the time or if he wants to wait until 60. Alex says as is. I can see that. Meanwhile, anyone who fancies it can, of course, speculate on why it's not going super well for uh, East Coast. Schools of Torres, 2 up top, Emerson, MC, no arrows on DMC's arrow on Ronaldinho. I believe that's pretty much what we're looking at here. Manager losing a bit of patience with his team here. Not really been as dominant as they have been. But anyway, we'll kick this one off up to 60. And meanwhile, ideas, thoughts on why things aren't going that well for East Coast are, of course, welcome in the chat. Morale doesn't seem to be like a big problem. It's maybe just down to bad luck, or maybe they just had all of their luck in the first 12, 13 games, and this is just, return to the norm. Oh, Emerson picks up an injury there. Not blessed with a ton of options to replace him. Mendes da Silva, maybe. Robin could also, in theory, go central with Chadwick on the left side, but we'll see what Dimble does here. Ronaldinho pull back as well, maybe. Not super easy. MDS and swap with Ado. Definitely a good call here. Where did he go? The injured Emerson. There he is. We're swapping him with Ado. Big blow for East Coast. Emerson, yeah, indeed. 743 in the average in the middle there. He's been, you could say, a bit of a sort of an average rating merchant, not really contributing much, but has broken up a lot of attacks and done his fair bit for East Coast. We've got another 10 minutes to go before the 60-minute break. We'll see if anything happens in that time. There comes Nakata forward again. Bit of an unusual one. Eto there, who I was complaining about at halftime, obviously trying to prove me wrong, as players often do here. There comes Robin forward. There's Mendes da Silva. Turam is there for some reason. Fernando Torres with a drive. Constantino was offside anyway. So that didn't count, obviously. Stackington now with 2 and 2. A 5 for Viali, a 5 for Novotny, a 5 for Inzaghi, and somehow he's still winning. I guess the manager can't complain too much about that. We'll see if Alex wants to do anything. Dimple says roll already. We've got Big Marvin Andrews to potentially come on for Novotny or Viali. Casillas could obviously come in goal, but that's not going to happen. Absolutely as is. Good. Last half hour coming up. East Coast hoping that they're on paper superior and team will see them through. But it's Stackington and it's Etu, just as I was slacking him off, decides to prove me wrong by putting Stackington 2-0 up, and that should be it for them. Uh, Still plenty of chances for East Coast. There's Fernando Torres putting one back right at the death. Will they find another one? I doubt it, but they didn't. It almost got exciting there. East Coast, a solid performance, just a little bit ineffective, and sadly for them, Stackington were very effective in terms of finding the back of the net when they had the chance of scoring on 2 out of the 3 shots they had on target. Shea Given dropped to an 8 after conceding that goal. Viali's on a 5. Everyone else on 6s and 7s. Inzaghi with an assist, and so had Rivaldo. Good result for Stackington. Their manager nervous going into this one, but proven that he is. on the up, and East Coast are definitely sort of struggling a little bit at the moment. Rustico somehow gets a 9. Um, Not exactly a champion, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if there'll be wholesale changes for East Coast next. Um, Indeed, indeed. Good, 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 good. That was the first game out of the way, and I think we have. Um, I've seen Sancte Ross is here as well, so we could eventually go there. But I think I mentioned we would go Sloths against Vikings. So let's do that because that's the one that's come up. As Scott alluded to on Twitter earlier this evening, Daya and Sinoni settled this one out. So does the suspended less CC. Um, Apart from that, LSK are looking pretty good. You have to say, um, it's been a while since they lost, and they picked up 3 wins from 5. They play Sancte away now, and then they've got Haggis and Dudley at home. They're really making a push here. Haggis, of course, one of the other sides up here at the top. They would love to get a win over them if they can get past Sloths this evening. Oh, sorry, if I'm talking complete rubbish, aren't I? Apologies for that. Sloths against the Vikings. Sorry, I dived into the LSK game. We'll do that one after. Apologies for that if anyone got confused what the hell I was talking about here, myself included. We go with Sloths instead, and their amended version 8 tactic. Most teams are operating on a similar formation now. Well, and there's only so many tweaks you can do to it, but you're all right, Alf. This is what Sloths are lining up with this evening. Basiu comes in, and Davids, the new signing, is there as well. A 5-man defensive midfield line, as we've seen with Exiles as well. Having some success with that. Bestan Valgaran at the back, and if Liverpool still in goal. Not a huge change in personnel, just shifting it about a little bit potentially to get the best out of new signing Davids as well. Really wants him in there, obviously. He gets number 8 up against the Vikings. They still have injuries. Now it's Clover and Arcus' turn. I think they've had injuries pretty much the whole season. They stick with this kind of 4-man box up here. With Hersey, with Kutuzov, Bordenko and Emerton are now on the wings, Ferdinand and Terry at the back, as they have been for most of the season. At least they've been sort of relatively stable. Or did Terry? Yeah, Terry missed a few games. Indeed, he did. Rio, no, he's ever present. Yeah, so it's been an up and down and sadly mostly down season for Vikings so far, but things have been looking a little bit better. Now they're just struggling to get that win. Only 2 defeats in 6, but 0 wins. That's obviously not ideal, but we will see if they can do one better this evening. Sloths against the Vikings coming up. Alf says he's on a poor run, which is not wrong, but so are Vikings, unfortunately for them. Let's see the first half, the first 45, and see who gets the most out of that. It's Van Bommel with the opener on 25 minutes for the Vikings. They take the lead. That's not often you say that about them. Emerson now getting very much involved for Sloths, trying to make a difference there. And there was Brooking trying as well, but that went horribly wrong or wide, I think it said. He tries again, but unfortunately for him, still without luck. There was Manuel Pablo, the new signing for Sloths, picking up a yellow card. And we go into the halftime with Vikings 1 to the good. Both teams have had one shot on target. Vikings have scored and Sloss haven't. It's pretty much as simple as that. 6s, 7s, and an 8 for John Terry, and assist for Hersey. Looking okay for Vikings. No fitness concerns. We'll see if the manager wants to do anything at this point. Steve was definitely here earlier. I hope he still is. Meanwhile, Sloths, it's not been a terrible first half for them. Emerson is on an 8. They've had some shots, just not really managed to get them into the back of the net. Brooking was a little bit wasteful there. Vasiuk seems a little bit lost. 6 passes, haven't really done much, but somehow got himself a 7. Fitness-wise, everyone is doing okay. Alf says, as is for now. We'll see if Vikings are doing anything at this point. We'll keep the powder dry for now, says the manager. That's excellent. We'll run till 60 and see if anything happens. See if the powder stays dry. What is this powder you speak of? I would check the Vikings bench, but we'll do that. That's probably picking up a yellow card. Oh, and there is a penalty. Elba steps up confidently and makes it 1-1. Rio Ferdinand committed that foul that led to that penalty for Sloss. Lucky to not be sent off in the process, but Sloss with the equalizer there. Um, Vikings looking a little bit more dangerous than they did in the first half, though. Haven't found the back of the net in the second half, of course, but looks as if they are trying. Yeah, well, two shots now instead of just the one. Sloss have had a couple more shots. One, of course, on target, the penalty that went in. Let's see how it's looking. Well, Rio Ferdinand, unsurprisingly, down on a 5 after committing that penalty. Patrick Power picks up a yellow. He's on a 5 as well. It's time for some fresh powder, perhaps. Liverani, the obvious choice over Patrick Power, who's doing badly. Evan Nielsen could come on as well, but Emerton is doing okay. And then there is, of course, Robbie Fowler, who must be the powder that I get it now. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well played. Well played. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Sloths, solid. Solid from them. Solid from them. Um, but yeah, just need another goal. Just need another goal, the Sloths. They have got Fiore on the bench, Amoroso for Vesio. That seems to make complete sense. Amoroso has had, he struggled a little bit, and quite rightly probably was placed on the bench, but has had a fairly decent season with 8 goal contribution in 14 games, not the worst. Um, we go to Vikings, Pavio for Liberani, swap with Levine and Van Bommel. That is what we are going to do exactly. Good. Um, yeah. You're still keeping the powder dry, or do we get to see Robbie Fowler in action? That appears to be it. For now, Del Vecchio. Oh, Del Vecchio's on a 6. It is tempting, though, isn't it? But Fowler for Del Vecchio. That's the spirit. Let's get him on. Excellent. Full speed going into the last 30 minutes. Let's see if anyone can find a winner here. Interesting substitutions from both sides that could potentially change the game. We're going to slow this down as we head into the last 10 minutes, I think, just to make sure we don't miss any of the important action. Actually, only 5 minutes left to play now. 3 minutes added on. Left to Rapulos plays it forward. It was Emma's son, but Liverani was there to break it up. Um, Coming up to 90 minutes now, Tonetta comes forward, dribbles past Terry, cross to the near post. There's Amoroso. Chiotis picks it up though. Ball goes up to Shevchenko, but goal kick to Sloths. That went quickly up the other end. Kutuzov lines it up. Paolo drives it. Ooh, good save by the keeper there, and Emerson clears the ball. Davids' name popped up there as well. Haven't seen him much. It's another unbeaten game for the Vikings. That's 7 games now with only 2 defeats. But yeah, and a good game, good, interesting second half, especially. Goals came in the first half, but very evenly matched second half. 5 on target for Sloss, 4 for the Vikings. Tonetto gets a 9. He's one of the sort of a relative newcomers to the starting lineup. Decent enough. Biscan came in and got the assist. Edgar Davidson, captain's armband, and an 8. That's not the worst. Valgano on a 9 as well. Taribo West on a 6. Not all super rosy for the Sloth manager, but not bad either. Manuel Pablo had 2 good games, but didn't really work out for him in this one. Picked up a yellow as well. Meanwhile, the Vikings, Rio Ferdinand, the 5 because of the penalty. Everyone else did pretty okay. Robbie Fowler came in. It's not looking too bad, to be honest. He has scored a bunch in the reserves and had an international goal as well. So maybe we'll see him get another run. Yeah, that's for next round probably. Well played, both managers. One of the parents was telling us to keep. Aye, 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 aye. Anyway, how many goals for Elba? I don't know. 6. Or is that 7 maybe? I don't know if the last one counted yet, but that's a decent return for him, for sure. Anyway, I was doing LSK before, so we'll go back to LSK now. I think I covered this, how well Los Santos are doing. So yeah, good. We'll see if Kalashax can get more goals. 15-10. I mean, 13 contributions in 15 games. I mean, can't argue with that, can you really? So that's Los Santos. They are up against uh, Sancti, Grip, um, and in their lineup, I think Van Nistelrooy maybe comes back in. I forget the changes. Apologies. I made them, of course, a little while ago, and I've forgotten. But Senden comes in. That's big news. Obviously, new signing. He comes in. Where did he come from? Haggis, I believe. So we will see how he does on the left-hand side. Tikhonov, of course, didn't do too badly, but probably not really what the manager was looking for. We'll see if Senden does any different. So that's for Club Sancti. Oliver Kahn, of course, almost 8 average, one of the players of the season. And yeah, someone that he's relying heavily on. Kirkland has come in and conceded a few in the 2 games that he's played. So important for Sancti that they keep the keeper fit until the end. So without further ado, let's dive into this one. If anyone can remember, did Fossroad sign any players? And if so, can anyone remember what numbers they're not allowed? Because otherwise, it's going to be a problem again. Um, right, we kick this one off. Good luck to both Ross and Scott. Sancti taking on Los Santos. First and a half hour went by in a flash. Not sure a lot of it, not a lot really happened there. Seen Sentence named once or twice, tried to find Van Nistelrooy. There was Saha trying to get the ball in the back of the net as well, unsuccessfully. But Sancti, probably one of the teams that had the stronger performance against Los Santos that we've seen recently. 3 shots, 2 on target. Los Santos only 2-2. Let's see how the individual stats are looking. Rosicky is the disappointing player out on the right hand side, I believe, with a 6, and then it's not going super well for sort of the attacking trio either there. Guerrero, Shax, and Solid Jr. That's a good call, actually, Ross. I think that's a good call. But I can't remember if he bought any players anyway, but we'll see. Um, anyway, solid first half from Sancti, and 9 for Christian Kibo there at the back. Cambiaso on an 8 as well. Luis Saha, Rocky Santa Cruz, and Ruud van Nistelrooy. There's not like an out and out striker on the bench. He has got um, Riquelme who could come in and do something potentially, but at the moment it's yeah. I'll let Ross think about that while we do the changes for Los Santos, which is going to be Esposito for Kessman. Esposito is this fella, I think. Uh, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Oh, good. And swap with Kessman. Evening, Mike. Good. So that's that. And for Sancti, anything from you, Ross? Philip Mexes. Can't believe we're still seeing him around in the Super League. Rick for Rock. Right. We shall do that. Thank you. And we roll until 60 and see if that has the desired effect for any of the managers, that substitution. And a slight tweak there from Los Santos. Taking Kalashak's off goal scoring duty and putting Kessman on. Brave move from the manager. We'll see if that pays off. 50 minutes on the clock now. Lisa Rasu comes forward. Oh boy, gets a warning there. He went in hard on someone and then kicked the ball away. And only a yellow. Had he gotten a yellow for the first, that would have been a red. Manager a little bit lucky there. That boy is still on the pitch, presumably. There we go. That's 60. Yeah, not a huge amount that happened there in the second half. Kessman's hardly touched the ball. Uh, Julian Guerrero is still on a 6. Leon Pio is on the bench. Ezequiel Gonzalez. Ezequiel Gonzalez. Whatever. He's there. He could come in and do something potentially. I believe he's a mid. Yeah, he's a 20 passing. Get him on for Guerrero potentially. Let the manager decide, obviously. But that's a potential sub. Meanwhile, Riquelme has got a 6. Everyone else is playing well. So there's not really a whole lot the manager can do at this point. I mean, obviously he can, but it doesn't look as if um, there's anything super obvious wrong to be righted here, but we'll let Ross decide. Meanwhile, we'll do the Los Santos substitutions. We get Ezequiel Gonzalez for Guerrero. We add an arrow to him. And Lee Yong Pyo comes on for Rosicky. All three substitutions used. Manager feeling confident here. He hasn't picked up a yellow, so looks as if he's not on track for a red. So perhaps it'll work out for him. Get lucky there. Sancti, meanwhile, Boyer van der Vaart. Um, okay, I hope he does a Robin. Oh my goodness, 631 average and he's still playing? Look at this. How terrible is that? Yeah, anyway, whatever Van der Vaart. Anything else? Oh, we're good to go. Probably good to go. I don't think Philip Maxes is lining up to come on. So we will probably just run with this. And let's see if any of those changes will pay off for either manager. Still 0-0 with 18 minutes to play. Sancte still trying their hardest here. And there it is. They turn on the style, and it's Riquelme, the man who came on. Slow it down for the last 10. See how it's going. Emmanuel Petit gets away with a warning for something. Van der Vaart getting involved, and Riquelme there again trying to really put it beyond doubt here, but it wasn't to be. And it's Los Santos who comes forward now. There's Henshaw, there's Kessman with a great chance, a last ditch challenge from someone, saving Sancte, really turning the season around here if they can hang on to this one. Sancte closing in on that contention for the playoffs, but there was Kalajak's great football by them. Nistelrooy Riquelme now combining. There is Marque Andre softed out. Andre, who apart from his debut has been doing very well for Los Santos since joining, or since joining. Where did he come from? Foss Road potentially. Um, Emmanuel Petit, apologies for kind of going silent. I'm just trying to keep up with what's going on here. There comes Riquelme now, keeps looking as if Los Santos comes forward and as if they're going to score, but instead it's Van Nistelrooy who puts it beyond doubt. 2-0 Sancte takes that home win. Very, very important result for them. 7 shots, 6 on target. Things really turning out in their favor now. Picked up the good luck that East Coast dropped, and starting to really push for that playoff spot. Um, Unlucky for Los Santos, they are of course without two key players in Dyer and Sinoni. I believe they're missing Lasisi as well. Bit of a tough one for them. Didn't really work out. Lisa Rasu did his best to captain Milevski as well, but too many sixes and sevens in there, really. Meanwhile, it's eights and nines for Sancte across the board. Assist for Saha, assist for Riquelme, who also got the goal, getting the man of the match award. Inspired substitution by the manager there. 12 out of 12 passes completed as well, 2 of them key. Excellent. Excellent work in trusting the process, Ross, and congratulations on your big win. 2-0 against Los Santos. Let's see who else we have in attendance this evening. We do have Mike is here. We're probably still waiting. I believe Duggan might be covering for Smuts this evening. I can't see what that says. Tato is here. Can't remember who I'm playing tonight. You're playing Dan. You're playing Dan the man. And not sure if Neil, probably not. Dan, possibly not. I can wait if Steve's going to be late. Yeah, I'll wait for Steve because he normally turns up. So we shall do full test against the Badgers, and then we will do Exiles against Burn, and then we'll see if Duggan comes, and we'll do Foss Road against Stanley, and then we'll just wait for Steve for the Haggis Dudley one. So let's crack on with this one. Full test against the Badgers. Um, Yeah, as mentioned, I can't remember what the changes are. Is that long? Forward for Petrov potentially? Is forward playing? Yeah, forward's playing. So that was forward for Petrov. I believe that was the only change that was made. Um, oh, excellent, great, thanks. Good to see you, Duggan. Mike's here as well. We'll put you on next. Um, I'll fire into this one just because I promised Tato, and he usually has to wait forever. So we will do this one. Forward guess number 19. I'm sure no one's taking offense to that. Badges, they are definitely correct because I just did it like a few minutes ago. Robertson Henry, new striking partnership. Mendieta comes in on the right hand side, and Zanetti moves into DMC. Maybe he was there already, who knows? And Vrede is maybe also new compared to last time out. Anyway, we got some squad numbers to hand out. David Collins, of course, as well. How could I forget? And King TT. Yeah, big names for Booth Town badges here. We'll see how they do. This could go very, very wrong. Well, or it could go very right. Who knows? Badges in their away kit, of course, playing the blue shirted Fulchester. Can't be any worse. You're not that far off, are you? Former defending champion Tato Mourinho. There's Chiangri, King TT, opening the scoring on his debut. Not something to complain about, is it? Um, Fulchester have been looking pretty solid, though. Apart from that, one chance for badges, it has been very much blue and white. D'Alessandro, and there's Scally, put himself about there, stopping David Beckham from going forward. Free kick to the badges there as well. Um, Toldo with a good save. Been battered there. Yes. Well, I, I don't know. It seems like you haven't. Well, 55% possession. It seems like you haven't, but you kind of have. If we're being completely honest, Fulchester looked as if they'd been pretty much in control of this one. Ryan Giggs with the assist, obviously. Mendieta and Robbie Keane not doing particularly well. David Collins, no doubt, desperate to come on in that AMC role where he so often flourishes. For the record, Ayala's down on a 5. He had such a great start to the season. Well, not start to the season, but start to win. He started to be used, but he's been sort of slacking off a bit recently, and they're struggling up against Thierry Henry. Um, Keane is at his 1-9 for the season last week. Yeah, indeed, indeed. He kind of comes and goes, and mostly goes, in my experience. So yeah, so that's where we're at. We shall roll until 60, um, and see if anything changes for Fulchester, if they continue to dominate without creating anything, or if Badgers can get some momentum in their favor. There was Giggs trying to get another assist. Um, Very, very important play for the Badgers, obviously, on that left hand side. Big creative force. Alex was offside. I thought he was dribbling with the ball, but apparently that's. Oof. Giggs to Henri, another double. Impressive debut for the signing there, and we stop it at 60. Badgers now with 3 shots on target, 2 assists for Giggs, 2 goals for Thierry Henry, combining very well. Robbie Keane's on a 6. Would be surprising if we don't see David Collins or someone else getting a bit of a run here for the last half hour. I'll let the manager consider that while we look at Fulchester's stats, which aren't looking great, to be honest. Viduka's not doing particularly well, neither is D'Alessandro, neither is Ayala. They're doing solid, but there's just no goals in this Fulchester side at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see what Badgers wants to do. They want to do CC for Sosa and Collins for Robbie Keane. Unsurprising, we shall do that, and we will roll until the end for this one. Still looking good for Badgers. Colchester haven't really looked super dangerous. Good save by Toldo there, though. Um, but it looks as if this one's on the bag for the visitors. David Collins comes forward. Would there be a debut goal for him? Doesn't look like it, but you never know. There's a couple of minutes still to play. Could all still happen. Giggs could swing in a nice cross and something could be done with it. But no, it stays 2-0. Good performance by Fulchester in general. They just didn't score goals as they often don't. Um, Debut factor for a couple of important players there. Thierry Henry, man of the match. Ryan Giggs with 2 assists as well. We know what he can do. That's 5 for the season for him. He has missed a couple of games, of course. Um, yeah, D'Alessandro. I mean, just a good performance by Toldo and just a little bit weak finishing from some of the Fulchester players. Tough. It's tough. It's tough to manage in the Super League. So it is. Badgers take the win. We move on to Foss Road against Stanley, I believe it is. Stuck in this here. Foss Road, they have got a new signing. My goodness, it's 24. And if it's if it's not 24 and I pick another one and it's that one, then it's your fault, Ross. That just so you know. We'll see what we can do. So yeah, Joe Cole comes in, of course, for the Foss Road Unicorns here. Or we can leave it to Duggan to pick the number. Even better. Even better to have someone to blame it on that's not me in case I get it wrong. Only kidding. I'm sure that if we take like 47 or something hugely random, it's going to be fine. Stanley, meanwhile, let's talk about Stanley for a couple of minutes or for 30 seconds at least. 4 games without losing after a very poor run. Uh, they beat Stackington, but Stackington was also on a poor run. And then they lost 4-1 to Northern Burn, and everything looked a little bit bleak. Then they had a 1-1 draw with Sloths. They beat East Coast, they beat Exiles, and they drew with Fulchester, another difficult away game. Then they've got Foss Road away now, which is very tricky. And then they've got Sanctay at home. It doesn't get any easier, but Red Rose Stanley are just doing it at the moment. And they've got Nicky Butt back. Savage Druff to the bench. I think Semak is in as well. I don't remember exactly what the changes were, but um, not not bad what they've got going here in Red Rose. Not bad what they've got going at all. So best of luck to both managers. We shall see. So we kick off the first half. Foss Road against Stanley. Stanley, who's been very good at not conceding and surprising a few people recently. But Foss Road, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. Georgic must score. He has got a couple of goals already for Stanley this season. Just couldn't. Crespo from range, but missing 6 minutes of added time in the first half. That is crazy. But fortunately, they went without anything really happening. Foss Road, 4 shots, 2 on target. Stanley, 2-1. Stanley, sixes and sevens. That's not going to bother the manager. He has full confidence in his side, I'm sure. Nicky Butt down to 81% fitness, though. Could be a concern later on, but for now, he's probably going to be fine. We'll see if Mike wants to do anything at this particular point in time. Um, well, you are always welcome, Doug, and you know that. For abuse or otherwise, this is your Totti Faseriola straight swap. Are you putting Totti as a striker just to please me? Is that what's happening here? Is that what's happening here? We'll still we'll give Mike another minute or two and see if he wants to do anything or if he's happy enough to stick here. His best position in the game is undisputed, undisputed, especially as a second striker. He says, knowing nothing about it. Um, did I pretend that Mike was here? Mike was here, wasn't he? He's stuck under the car again, maybe. Anyway, I would have suspected Mike wouldn't really do anything. As mentioned, well, it's a little bit of a quick one this evening, so I'm keen to crack on. Evening 5 feet. I'm keen to crack on until 60. So apologies, but I will do that. And then, Mike, if you have any changes, then please let me know at 60. We'll see how it goes for the first 15. And the second half, there comes Nicky Butt, and there's Ronaldo. Lines up the free kick, strikes free kick over the wall. Uh, there comes Totti, cleared out by Okoronko, I think it said. Zambrotta comes forward. Joe Cole loses his man. Oh, half volley, but hits the crossbar. Not good enough, Joe. There we are. 60 minutes. Um, 5-2 for Foss Road. They had that shot crossbar from Cole. Stanley 2-1. Holding firm, Stanley. Semak is down to 5. That's probably not going to please his manager too much, but I'm not sure what he has on the bench here at the moment. Let's see. Hope everyone is well. I think in general we are. Thanks, Wifey. I am for sure. I can't speak for everyone else, of course, but I am. Thank you very much. Um, looking okay for Foss Road. Manager says no change, so no change it is. Trezeguet just struggling there on the bench to understand why Crespo's left on, but there we go. He is the top scorer after all. Stanley, there's just Semak who really stands out um, in terms of performances. But I am reluctant to do anything without Mike's approval, of course. So we'll give it a couple of seconds. Um, just while we talk, is Ryan the cheater? I think that's harsh. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? Mm, he saw an opportunity, and that's all I'm saying. Uh, as is, says Mike. Excellent. Um, I think Campbell took it well when. Yeah, no worries, Mike. No worries. I'm pleased you made it back, at least for the 60 minutes. Yeah, no, I think Campbell took it very well. I mean, he didn't go on about it at all, I would say. But anyway, back to the action. 10 minutes left of this one. Still nil-nil. Stanley are very difficult to break down at the moment. Can they hold on for the last 5 minutes against Foss Road? And will Smuts blame Duggan for failing to pick up 3 points here? We will see. At least I think we managed to avoid any kind of numbering disasters. There comes C-Mac. He was on a 5, denied by Hoffland. That would have been inspired by the manager to leave him on if he had found the back of the net there. There comes Georgic. Oh, Nick Matulian with a good save. I think Fossroad was missing him for a game or two as well. And nil-nil. Not bad. Not bad at all from Stanley. Um, not bad from Stanley. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, this kind of form from the start of the season, I mean, they're in contention, I mean, for a playoff. I mean, it's looking good. Looking good. And you can get good results out of players that are a little bit unfancied. Okoronkwo there, captain for the night. 15 tackles, 14 of them won. Good luck trying to get past that. Um, Meanwhile, Foss Road, a little bit, not uninspired, but just maybe a little bit unlucky. Tati, best striker in the game, got a 6 for his efforts. Trezeguet on the bench, pondering. Good result away from home. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Saviola is a myth. Off he goes. We don't do this one. We do. What else are we missing? Exiles against Bern. That's what we're missing. Um, he has been waiting patiently since the beginning. Hopefully this is right. As mentioned, I forget. Oh, it is a screenshot, and he said it was okay. So that's definitely right. Impensa's in there. IMR Seedorf the wrong. Uh, One of the new boy gets. Montero is the one, and Hupia drops to the bench. Campbell being preferred. He was out with injury for a while, obviously. I think he wants to give him a good solid run there. So that's how Northern Burn line up this evening. Up against the Exiles, who I don't remember if they did anything. I think as is potentially. Um, he doesn't like to mix it up too much these days, doesn't he? Also, I think it was an assist from him. Montero can get number 12. I'm sure no one will object to that. Exiles, I believe, are as is. They've struggled a little bit. A couple of players are unhappy. I forget why, but I'm sure the manager will deal with that internally if needed. Um, Exiles against Northern Burn, two teams that are also very much in contention for the playoffs still. So a big one here for Northern Burn. If they don't pick up 3 points here, then they're allowing the people behind them to close the gap. So yeah, now is the time for Northern Burn to start to assert the dominance. Second half of the season, this is where Ian normally earns his reputation. So we will see how it goes. Decent start from Northern Burn, but it's Exiles who fires back in 15 minutes with their own chances. But there is Verong, who's been solid for Northern Burn this season, one of the key players opening the scoring. They take a 1-0 lead. Smoot's doing his best to get Exiles back in the game, but it's just not been as good or as effective for Exiles as it was early in the season. Um, Good solid pressure from them here coming up to halftime. Smoots again and again and again, trying to find the back of the net. Ooh, but it's Juarez. Picks up a red card. I know he's not here, but he's going to go one at the back, isn't he, really? Don't think anyone's going to argue with that at all, especially being one goal down. Half time's up. It's been poor from Exiles. Zero shots on target, zero shots in general. Uh, did see a bunch of Smoots getting involved though, so I'm not sure what he was doing. They've won all the headers, if it's any consolation. Um, Not vintage Northern Burn, uh, other than the fact that they're winning 1-0. Performance wise, it's a little bit so. Kalatz is on a yellow, manager keeping him on. He has got Björnstad Hagen he could throw on there, but it goes as is until 60. Exiles, meanwhile, Juarez obviously off with a 5. Everyone else doing okay. Just not shooting for whatever reason this evening. But we pick up the pace a little bit again. We go to fast and we see if Exiles can do anything in here, and they can. It's top scorer Vieri, um, unjuiced Vieri, who makes it 1-1. Good shot by him, and about time that Exiles actually had a shot rather than just pretending, as they presumably were for most of the first half. Just about coming up to 60 here. It's been solid from Exiles in the first 10-15 of the second half. There comes Casano, finds Vieri. Ooh, Patrick Vieira gets a yellow card for manhandling Raul. And here we are on 60. Exiles had that one shot, Northern Burn hanging on, won't say for dear life, but hanging in there and actually equalized. Probably a little bit in the ascendancy, if I'm being totally honest. We'll see if Northern Burn manager Ian Edwards wants to do anything about Kalatse or if he's going to trust the process and stick until the end. Meanwhile, we just have a look at the Excel stats. Vieri there's on the 9. It was Charlie Chaos with the assist, unsurprisingly, always throwing himself about doing stuff. And he is sitting on an 8, so is Mike Duff out on that wing. Kasama's down on a 6. No obvious fitness concern, so we shall leave it as is. Poorest fitness is Juarez, who got sent off about 15 minutes ago. Although Mike Duff isn't looking particularly great either, but plenty of energy left in him for the last 30 minutes. Go back to Northern Burn and see what Ian comes up with. Hagen for Kalatzelumberg for Seedorf, and that's how we roll. And Hagen for Kalatze, Seedorf, Lundberg. Last touch coming up. Let's see if Panther Hagen can be the one who makes the difference. And Panther was scoring like crazy up until recently as well. Not seen him today. And instead it's Casano, the poorest player in the Exiles lineup at 60 minutes down on a 6 and hadn't done much. He puts Exiles 2-1 up against Northern Burn, who are struggling a little bit to find a way back into this. Exiles holding firm still, and there goes the final whistle. Exiles came back into it in the second half. Northern Burn didn't really have much. And a 5 for Buffon, 5 for Kalatze. Who knows what's going on here at the moment. And Pensa, who's been super dominant, had a poorish game last time out, and now he's down to a 6 after a 7. Not what the manager wanted to see at all. And of course, keeping the playoff race very interesting for the teams that were below Northern Burn. Excel stats. 38 paying against 10 in this league. Yes, indeed. It is as if people get a boost. Charlie Chaos on the 9, Roberto's on the 9, Smooch on the 9, and the effective Christian Vieri trying to catch back up to Impensa. What a guy, indeed. He's not even got 20 finishing, but still looking decent. Still looking decent. Good result for Exiles. They've been a little bit bouncy recently, but found some flat ground here and they made it 2-1 against Northern Burn. Good result for them. That leaves us with Haggis against Dudley Hill. I've not seen Steve about, probably in Spain or somewhere again. But yeah, up against Haggis. Proton Newman comes in on the right hand side. Cruz moves to AMC and Elkes there with Montella. Solid lineup for them. It's been good. They're up into third. Nothing to complain about for Haggis, I think. David Putton can get number 19. Dudley Hill, meanwhile, I believe there are some changes as well because he has some fresh faces, of course, for Steve and the Dudley boys. Um, check that we've done this correctly. Um, I believe so. Uh, Apologies for the slight delay. I just want to double check this just because Steve isn't here. And it's a while since I did it, but I think he fired it through on an email, didn't he? And bear with me a second. Seems so. Seems so. Not entirely, not 100% sure if this is right, but I think so. Otherwise, I will have to apologize at another time. Can't find out exactly. Uh, um, Aha, indeed, indeed, indeed. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself here. I appreciate that's not exactly the content that anyone wants to see, but yeah, no, I forgot where we discussed it, but I found it and it looks good. It's gonna happen for Maxim. Well, it could. New players are in there. Maxim gets number 10. Is that an omen? Is that a sign of things to come? Commentary speed very fast. Haggis at home to Dudley Hill. Dudley Hill, who had a good solid start to the season. I was going on about how Steve's always going to be there, thereabouts. Then they had a bunch of a run of very difficult games. But of course, um, some bad luck as well with a bunch of red cards and the sort of things that he couldn't really do anything about. And now he's trying with it's Nikiforenko, but the goal won't stand. Tsigalko, I think it was, who was in an offside position. Nikiforenko and Collins, who started off so well together, haven't really done a lot recently. There was Nikiforenko with a shot, but unfortunately no goal for him. It's been solid from Stino, decent signings, as Campbell says there. New faces. Ferguson comes in there. Roy Mackay can definitely do a job as well, has done before in the Super League. And Tsigalko, of course, I mean, someone's got to take a gamble on him and he's going to come good, I guess. I mean, he was great at Stanley and then he left after being poor at Stanley. And then, yeah, did okay at Badgers, but not really what the manager wanted, probably. And was swapped for Thierry Henry, of course. Um, so, yeah, 7 and 6 is for Dudley here at halftime. The same for Haggis, actually. Is that identical? Pretty much. Um, Easy when you've got players that manages one. Yeah, and if you're stuck with 49 that they don't, then it's a bit more tricky, Alex. That's how it is. Mr. Campbell, anything from you here at halftime? Figo, Tomadera, anything that takes your fancy? We'll go to 60, please. Excellent. We shall do that. Uh, no changes for either manager then. Until it comes forward, there's Anelka. Uh, not been vintage for Anelka, but not been poor either. And manager, of course, is afraid to drop him. That's how it is to have Anelka. Um, Coming up to 60 now. Crossen getting involved as well. There's Mackay. And there's Tsigalko. Will it be his night? Indirect free kick given. Not sure if that was what we were hoping for. Oof, Nedved straight offside. Dudley definitely looking the more dangerous side here. Cafu allowed to run. Cafu cuts to the near post. Cannavaro heads it clear. Definitely looking the better side, Dudley. I'm not sure what these numbers are all about. Dudley definitely looking the more creative and dangerous side. Yet to find any meaningful action. In front of goal, though, where Mackay had a shot on target, Thiago had one off. Haggis, meanwhile, both chances fell to Darren Cruz, wasn't able to take any of them. Petkop's down on a 6, so's an Elka. Everyone else is performing solidly. Tomadero is, of course, an option from the bench. Pamoruka can come in as well. Figo, we've not seen much of him. Uh, Someone who could maybe come in and play pretty much everywhere. AMC, maybe. We'll see what the manager does. Although people say he's a winger, I'm not sure what Figo's actually really good at. And Kav Petrov, of course, he is a bit of a multi-talented fellow. Uh, Mr. Pamuruka and can play kind of everywhere-ish. Um, swap strikers. That's it. We'll do that. And we will roll until the end and see if anyone can find the winner. Half an hour to go. Well, 23 minutes now. Good save from the Haggis keeper there. Dudley with a chance. And Nikiforenko now coming forward again, trying to get a shot away on. But it's Cafu now. I mean, they've been bombing down the wings, both Cafu and Roberto Carlos, all leading for Dudley Hill. Just not found anyone on the end of their crosses. Maldini now tries, and it's Maldini, a magnificent individual effort from the 400-year-old Paolo Maldini. Fantastic display from him, surprising everyone, including the I guess defenders by flying forward, and an unlikely scorer as well from the home side. It's David Broughton who makes it 1-1. You'd probably have to be there to believe it. Um, will there be another one though? There's still a couple of minutes left to play, I guess. Tigalco takes on Fogel. Haggis holds onto the ball though, and there goes the final whistle as David Broughton and Paolo Maldini hit the back of the net for their respective sides. A hard-fought draw. Dudley Hill can't be too unhappy with that. Haggis got to be pretty pleased with finding a way back into that. I want to see what that fantastic individual effort was from Maldini. Maldini went by the challenge of Mantella, past Said, Pat Bauman, Pat. Yeah, why not? Why not? That's, that's a brilliant individual effort indeed. His first goal for Dudley Hill as well. And then Crossing left with a simple finish, fair enough. Vogel somehow got an assist after Maldini dribbled past four players, but brilliant. Paolo Maldini, oh yeah, scored before, of course, and he isn't 400 years old, only 36. But look at those attributes still. Just the strength letting him down a little bit, but of course with the positioning, the determination, that doesn't really matter. Excellent from him. Meanwhile, Haggis, there was Prussian with a goal. Was it his first in Super League history? His first goal since his goal for Nottingham Forest back in 2000. So indeed, not been that successful, but decent game for him. Decent game for him. He got an 8 and got a goal. Excellent. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. East Coast hang on to first place. Despite losing to Staggerton, who gets off the bottom of the table. Exiles are in fourth. Northern Burn dropped out of the playoffs again. Foss Road stay in second. Stanley stay in 14th. Or go back to 14th. Was it the other way around? I think it was. Fulchester now down in 10th, Badgers into 5th, Haggis in 3rd, Dudley down in 8th place now. Los Santos dropped to 6th after losing to Sancti, that go up to 9th now. Slots and Vikings hang around in that 11, whatever spot. Interesting. Interesting all round. Good result for East for Foss Road with that draw, actually, considering that both Haggis and East Coast dropped points as well. Exiles making ground, Badgers to Los Santos dropping points. So did Northern Burn, Dudley Hill as well, only picking up 1 point. Sancti closing the gap now, only 6 points behind Los Santos with 10 games to play. That's definitely not impossible ground to make up. Fulchester definitely not out of it. Sloss, Vikings, Staggington, and Stanley. It's tricky, but only 10 points, 11 maybe in some cases. It's not the worst. Not the worst. Let's see the fixtures for our next time out, which will be I don't know, soon, I guess. Draw specialist. Who are the draw specialists? Vikings with 8 draws in 16. Absolutely. Big one for East Coast again. They are on such a poor run and they go away to informed Badgers. Dudley have to start picking up points now. They host Exiles. Los Santos take on Haggis. Tricky one for Haggis going to Los Santos, who probably have the good players back. Dyer and Sinoni. Northern Burn, they have to get points against Fulchester 3 probably. Staggington Sloths, good opportunity for Staggington. Sloths are struggling a bit at the moment, but they played well this evening. Stanley against Sancti. Informed sides meet there as 14th take on 9th, and the draw specialist Vikings host Foss Road. Fabulous. All good. Thank you very much, guys. Awesome entertainment as usual. Packs and stuff. Um, Evening, Steve. You drew 1-1. Maldini dribbled past four players and put you 1 goal up, and David Proton equalized. You'll be surprised to hear. Not a bad result away from home from you. Um, so that's the end of the evening, guys. Thank you very much for joining as usual. Packs will be out, I guess soon. And yeah, next show I'll let you know as soon as I can. It's a long holiday weekend again for us next week. But we'll squeeze in a show at some point. So as usual, thank you and good night.